Okay, today we're continuing to talk about y equals mx plus b. For today, all you need is something to write with and the guided notes that should have been passed back to you. On the guided notes on the top, it should say Module 6, Lesson 5, y equals mx plus b, guided notes for the substitute. These are your notes. Maybe you want to get out a separate sheet of paper in case you write big and you don't have enough room. But this is all you need for today. On top of the paper, it should say things to remember. Talks about our x and y intercepts, talks about our slope formula, also has our slope formula down here. Y equals mx plus b is our slope-intercept formula. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 finds our m. That's also on top of your guided notes. You don't need to copy this down because it's already in your notes. I typed it up for you. Question number 1 is an easy one. What are the slope and the y-intercept of the line with the equation y equals negative 4x minus 2? Well, that's really easy because y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. So the slope for this problem is just going to be negative 4. It's the number in front of x. Your y-intercept is going to be negative 2 because that's what you have left over. Easy first question. All right, question number 2. What is the slope of a line that passes through the point 5, 3, and negative 2, negative 4? Now remember, anytime they give you 2 points, 2 ordered pairs, we must use our slope formula. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we should be getting pretty good at this. This is going to equal negative 4 minus 3 over negative 2 minus 5. All I did was negative 4 minus 3 and then negative 2 minus 5. And now I'm going to solve. So negative 4 minus 3 gives me negative 7. Negative 2 minus 5 also gives me negative 7. A negative 7 divided by negative 7 is going to be a positive 1. So that's all you had to do because all they wanted to do was find the slope. Question number 3 says, if the line y equals 3/2 x plus 6 were graphed, what would be the x-intercept? So we need to remember what we know about x-intercepts. Well, we know when we're looking for the x-intercept, that means y equals 0. So I plug in 0, and I get 0 equals 3/2 x plus 6. So we should be getting really good at finding our x-intercepts now. We've been working on intercepts for almost like 3 weeks. Now we got another question about x-intercept. All we have to do is plug in 0 for our x-intercept. We plug in 0 for y, and now we solve. Well, how are we going to get rid of this positive 6? Well, we need to subtract on each side. So we get negative 6 equals 3 over 2x. I'm kind of skipping showing my step of minus 6 on each side. The minus 6 cancels out. 0 minus 6 gives me negative 6. Now, how do we get rid of a fraction in front of a variable? Well, we multiply by the reciprocal. Each and every time we multiply by the reciprocal. From here, we need to multiply straight across. So let me give myself a little bit of room. Roll up a little bit. All right. So if I multiply straight across, I'm going to get 2 times negative 6, which is negative 12, over 3 times 1, which is 3. So negative 12 over 3 will give me negative 4. Negative 4 equals x. But remember, this is an ordered pair. So your ordered pair is negative 4, 0. This might be where you need to write on a separate sheet of paper. Look at all of this work you got to show for just one problem. Question number 4. If the line 5x minus 3y equals negative 30 were graphed, what would be the y-intercept? So, kind of doing exactly what we just did, but now we're looking for our y-intercept. So our y-intercept, that means that x equals 0. So I plug in 0 for x. I get 5 times 0 minus 3y equals negative 30. Well, what's 5 times 0? Nothing. So then we get negative 3y equals negative 30. Now we just need to divide by negative 3 on each side. We end up getting y equals a positive 10. Boom, you're done. But don't forget, it's not just 10, it's 0, 10. All right, now, for numbers 5 through 7, we're using the same graph. I'll have my graph on each slide, but you're using the same graph that's right there to the right of your paper. So, what is the x-intercept of the line? Well, our x-intercept is on our x-axis. I don't give you an equation. All I give you is the line. So I look at my x-axis. Where does it hit? Well, right there. Well, what's that point on my x-axis? It looks like it's 4. So my x-intercept is just x equals 4. All you had to do was look at it. It was right there. Okay, number 6. What is the y-intercept of the line? Well, our y-intercept is on our y-axis. So, it doesn't give me an equation, just like the last one. All we have to do is look with our eyes and see that it's going to hit my y-intercept right there. Well, what's that point right there? That point right there is x equals 3. Whoop, not x. Uh-oh. Let me erase that. Talking about my y's. So it's going to be y equals 3. Easy question. All I had to do was use my eyes and look at the graph. Okay, number 7 says, what is the slope of the line? So remember, your slope equals rise over run. So all I need to do is count. Let me zoom in, zoom on my paper. You obviously have your paper right in front of you. You can count on your own. Let's choose our 2 points. Well, we can go from our intercepts to our intercepts. So I'm going to count up. 1, 2, 3. So I rise up 1, 2, 3. and I run 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we have to notice about our line? Well, we got to think about Mr. Slope Guy. Is my line going to be positive or is my line going to be negative? Well, I went up, which is positive, but then I went to the left, which is negative. And my line is also going downwards. So, I zoom back out again. Woo, 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 woo. Just kidding. So, my slope, my M, my rise over run, is just going to be 3 over 4. Because I rose up 3 and I ran 4. Only thing I have to add is my negative. Does it matter where my negative is? Nope. I could write 3 over 4 with the negative in the middle. I could write 3 over 4 with the negative on the bottom. It really doesn't matter. All of these are equal to each other. So your answer for your slope is negative 3 over 4. So how easy was questions 5 through 7? I give you a graph. All you have to do is look. We didn't do any math. We didn't add anything. We didn't subtract anything. All we did was use our eyes and look. For number 8, it says use the graph below. What is the slope of the line? So again, all I'm going to have to do is look and count. Woo, woo. Let's see what happens when I zoom in. Well, remember, your slope equals rise over run. So how much am I rising and running? Well, I'm going up 1 and over 1. Up 1 and over 1. Up 1 and over 1. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. All right, so I should know that I'm rising 1. So let me write it out again. Slope equals rise over run. So for this, my slope equals 1 over 1, which is just 1. That one was easy. Took 20 seconds. Okay, number 9 says, what is the slope of the line with the equation 6x minus 3y equals 24? Well, we need it to be in slope-intercept form because your slope-intercept form gives you your slope and your y-intercept. So, in order to get it into slope-intercept form, you need to solve for y. So the first thing you want to do, let me rewrite the equation. 6x minus 3y equals 24. The first thing you want to do is subtract 6x from each side. Now, what's 24 minus 6x? Can we do anything with 24 minus 6x? No, because they're not like terms. So now, bring everything down. Please, 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 don't forget your negative. This now becomes negative 3y equals negative 6x plus 24. Hopefully you can see that. I know it's a little light, but I like the color green. So, I'll just read it again. Negative 3y equals negative 6x plus 24. Move myself down just a little bit. You got the question right there. So the first step that I did, I subtract 6x. Now I have to get rid of that little negative 3. So I need to divide by negative 3 on each side. Now, you really can't see that color, so let me try a different one. Doot, doot, doot. Okay, negative 3, just back to blue. I tried to change it up, but the colors aren't really working for me. So negative 3 divided by 3 just cancels out. Now, be careful, because when you divide, you have to divide everything. So let's first do negative 6x divided by negative 3. Well, negative 6x divided by negative 3 gives me a positive 2x. Then I need to divide 24 divided by negative 3, which gives me negative 8. So I kind of skipped that little step that I showed you in the middle, but I showed it to you a lot yesterday in class. So you should remember that when we divide, we have to divide everything. So now, if I zoom out, my problem is in y equals mx plus b. It wants to know the slope. Well, now that I have y equals mx plus b, my slope is always equal to m. So m equals 2. That's your answer. Now, this is where I said having some extra paper might help. This took a lot of work to solve for this problem. And the next couple problems are only going to get longer. So if you're already running out of room, maybe get out a piece of paper and start copying down some of your work on a separate sheet of paper. Question number 10 wants us to find the x-intercept. Well, we're really smart and we know that my x-intercept means that y equals 0. So all I have to do is plug 0 in for my equation. So 0 equals negative 3x plus 8. We're looking at number 10 now on your guided notes. Looking at y equals negative 3x plus 8, trying to find the x-intercept. So 0 equals negative 3x plus 8. My 8 looks a little funky. Kind of looks just like 2 zeros. Oh well. So now I subtract 8 from each side. 0 minus 8 gives me a negative 8 equals negative 3x. Well, I want to get rid of this negative 3. So I got to divide. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. That cancels out. What's a negative divided by a negative? Hopefully everybody's saying positive. Move myself down a little bit. Now, you could type it in your calculator if you want, but I'm just going to leave my answer as 8 over 3. Boom. There you go. That's your x-intercept. Remember that it's also a point, so it's 8 over 3, comma, 0. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, number 11. We're almost done. We got 11, 12, 13, and 14 left. These are the hard questions. Not really that hard, but they're getting a little bit longer. So, number 11 says, what is the y-intercept of the line with the equation 6x minus 5y equals negative 26? Well, like we always say, we're super duper smart. Y-intercept means x equals 0. So I do 6 times 0 minus 5y equals negative 26. Well, what's 6 times 0? Nothing. So minus 5y equals negative 26. How am I going to get rid of this negative 5y? Well, I'm going to divide. So y equals 26 divided by 5. You can leave it like that. As a decimal, I think it's like 5.2. But remember that a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And also remember that we get a point. 0, comma, 5.2. So that wasn't that bad. Still working on our y-intercepts. They're not going away. Should be getting really good and really easy at y-intercepts now. Okay, you need a lot of room for number 12. Number 12 is a tricky one. It says, what is the y-intercept of a line that passes through these 2 points? Well, anytime you see 2 points, the first thing that should pop in your head is, oh, I'm going to have to use my slope formula. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So now I just plug in my points. y2 minus y1 is going to be negative 2 minus 2 over negative 1 minus 5. And now I just subtract to get negative 4 over negative 6. And then we reduce. Negative 4 over negative 6, well, negative divided by a negative will give me a positive. 4 over 6 will reduce to 2 over 3. So now I have my m. So think about our our slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b. B is our y-intercept. So I want to plug in m. I'm going to get y equals 2/3 x plus b. Move myself down so I got a little room. Now what do I want to do? Well, they give me 2 points. Pick any 2 points. I'm going to pick 5 over 2 because it's not negative. So I plug in 2 for y. 2/3 is the slope that I found. And then I plug in 5 for x plus b. So always remember your steps. Step 1, find your slope. Step 2, plug in your slope and plug in your x and y intercepts. Step 3 is now solve for b. Right there, we want to get that b. Whatever that number is going to be our y-intercept. So, moving myself down again. Like I said, you might need a lot of room for this one. If I put a 1 underneath the 5 and I multiply straight across, I get 2 equals 10 over 3 plus b. Well, this is coming out really ugly, but that's okay because we're really good with our fractions. So, still moving myself up, so I got a lot of room. Ooh, trying to at least. All right, there we go. Give myself some more room. 10 over 3 plus b, well, what's the opposite of adding 10 over 3? Well, the opposite of adding 10 over 3 is going to be to subtract 10 over 3. Minus 10 over 3. So, if I move over to my blank space over here, I end up doing 2 minus 10 over 3. What do I need when I subtract fractions? I need a common denominator. So, 2 over 1, if I multiply the bottom by 3 and the top by 3, now I'm looking at 6 over 3 minus 10 over 3. What do I get for b? Well, 6 minus 10 gives me a negative 4 over 3 equals b. What does that give you? That gives you your y-intercept. B is your y-intercept. So, I found my answer. It's negative 4/3. Look at all of this work that you had to do for one question. I'm going to leave it up here for a couple seconds. Make sure you got how to write the fraction, showing how you subtract and cancel it out. Make sure you show that you needed to find your slope first. I will tell you, for number 13 is also longer than this one, and look how much work this one cost. So, we got 2 more problems after this. Again, I'm just killing time right now to make sure that you got this all written down. So that tomorrow when I come in, you guys aren't like, well, we didn't have time to write everything down, Miss Grant. All right. I think this is enough time, though. This should be enough time now. You should have all of this down now. All right. What is the x-intercept of the line that passes through the points -2, -4, and 3 negative 1. Sorry, just 3 positive 1, not negative. All right, I'm going to zoom out because I know I'm going to need a lot of work because I'm given 2 points. That's it. And I need to put this into y equals mx plus b and then solve putting y for 0 and getting my x-intercept. So the very first thing I need to do is find m. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's going to be 1 minus negative 4 over 3 minus negative 2. Minus a minus becomes a plus. So I end up with 5 over 5, which gives me 1. Perfect. Let me zoom out even more. Ooh, way too much. All right, there we go. So I have my m, which is just 1. Do I even really need to write 1 in front of my x? No, but it doesn't hurt to know where you're getting your numbers. So a 1x plus b. Now I need to plug in one of my points. I'm going to plug in 3, 1, just because I don't like negative numbers. So 3 equals, not 3. 1 equals 1 times 3 plus b. Remember, this y value corresponds with your y value right here. So that's why I have 1 here. And the x goes with x. So I made a mistake plugging in 3, so I just erased it real quick. 1 equals 3 plus b, because 1 times 3 is just 3. Now, how am I going to get my b all by itself? Well, I subtract 3 from each side. What is 1 minus 3? Well, that's negative 2. Am I done? No, because this is the y-intercept. And they want me to find the x-intercept. So, I'm not done yet. Now, I go into write my equation. Y equals x minus 2. How did I get that equation? Well, m is 1. Do I have to write the invisible 1? No. And my y-intercept is minus 2. So, in order to find my x-intercept, which is what I need because that's what it's asking for, I plug in y equals 0. So 0 equals x minus 2. How am I going to get rid of that minus 2? Well, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I just add 2 to each side. So 2 equals x. That is my answer. That is my x-intercept. X-intercept. So, this was a lot of work for one question. Yes, this will be a question on your test. Yes, you have to do all of this to get the answer. No, there is no shortcut way. Yes, this will be a question on your test. Think about it in steps. Step 1, find your slope. Step 2, find b. Step 3, write your equation. Step 4, find your y-intercept. Your x-intercept. So again, I'm leaving this up here. I'm taking some time so you copy all of this down. Hopefully you got it all written down. You got how you get m. You got how you found b. Then you write the equation. So from here all the way up to here. Then you solve for your x-intercept. Giving you plenty of time to copy this down so that you have it all in your notes. Last question. Number 14. The slope of a line is -1/4. And the line crosses the vertical axis at 4. What is the x-intercept of the line? Now, I love this question. I love it, I love it, I love it, because it makes you think. Well, first of all, it gives us our slope. So m equals -1/4. What else does it give us? Well, it tells us that the line crosses the vertical axis at 4. What's our vertical axis? Well, think about your x and y. This is your y-axis. So if it, this is your y-axis. So if it crosses your y-axis, that means it's your y-intercept. So this right here means that it's your y-intercept, which is the point 0, 4. Now we can write our equation. First of all, in y equals mx plus b, we could plug this number in, and get our b. But what is b? It's our y-intercept. So all we have to do to solve this problem is y equals -1/4 x plus 4. Beautiful. I'm going to move up a little bit because we're not done. It didn't want the equation. It says, what's the x-intercept? So, to find our x-intercept, we got to plug in 0 for y. So, 0 equals -1/4 x plus 4. Almost done. Move myself up a little bit. Leave all that work so you can see all that work. All right, I can zoom that out a little bit. That way you can still see the work and catch up if you're behind. Now, I want to subtract 4 from each side. Why do I want to subtract 4? Because I want to get x all by itself. So, -4 equals -1/4 x. How do we get rid of a fraction in front of a variable? Well, every single time, without a doubt, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. -4 times, put a 1 underneath. -4 times -4 gives me +16. I'm going to write it up here. So from here, I'm going up here. I get 16 equals x. That's my answer. That's my x-intercept. I'm done. That was a little bit of work to show, I know, but that one was one of my favorite questions. It made you think because it didn't tell you the point right away. It just said that it crossed the vertical axis at 4. Okay, that's all the notes that we have today. So use these notes to help you with your homework tonight. If you missed anything or you went a little too fast or you couldn't see or whatever, all of it is on Edmodo. So don't forget to check Edmodo because I posted it on Edmodo. Module 6 test is on Tuesday. Make sure you get the homework. The homework says focus on Sunshine State standards. That's what's for homework tonight. I will look at it on Monday because, again, I'm not going to be here tomorrow either. I hope you have a good weekend. I will see you on Monday, and tomorrow we have another fun video to watch in class with guided notes.